Wyclef Jean, BKS1 Radio. Let's go.
This is Essence Atkins, and this is BKS1 Radio.
Hi, this is Melba Moore, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? This the chef. Giving a big shout out to my peoples. Big KS, you already know what it is. Salute.
What's up? It's your girl Monifa, and I'm hanging with BKS1 Radio.
Hi, I'm Iyanla Van Zandt, and you're listening to BKS1 Radio.
BKS1 Radio.
Shout out to BKS1, the best kept damn secret in the business.
Hey, what's up? This is Raven Goodwin from BET's Being Mary Jane, and shout out to BKS1.
Hi, this is Leon. You're watching BKS1 Radio.
BKS1. God bless y'all.
Yo.
Welcome to BKS1 Radio, the Out Show. It is your girl. Welcome to the show. We have an amazing guest on the show with us tonight that we're going to get to in a few. But first and foremost, before we get to that, Queen B.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
I'm good. A lot of snow going on over it. What else? What else? A lot of schoolwork going on.
Yes. You were in school for yet another degree.
Right. What else? That's really it.
Okay.
Blessed to be COVID free.
Yes, that is a blessing.
That is a blessing. Other than that,
I can't complain either. It's like you said, with everything going on in the world right now, sometimes you just have to slow down and take a breather and then recognize that you are okay. And maybe the things that you would complain about, you will check yourself.
Absolutely.
And not complain about those things, because as you said, not only are we COVID free currently, but we're still here.
Right.
If I was not on the wake up list, but it just
not on the road.
Not on the road, just so happens. It just so happened. No, I'm only playing.
He didn't pick my number.
It's crazy because even on our sign off, we always say, you know what, God willing, we'll be here next week, same time, same place, different episode. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And even all of that is a blessing, just to be able to be creative during this time period and to tap into that, because we are at a point where we are not just maintaining. However, if that is you, and that is perfectly fine.
Okay. Yes.
It's perfectly fine. If during this time period, all you can do is maintain, good for you and kudos for you.
Absolutely.
We are in a space where we are still creating, where we are still moving, where we are still doing things. And that in itself is a blessing. So like you said, I say all of that to say, I can't complain either. You know what I mean?
I won't. I won't complain, because out of all the things, like we are really, thank God, we are really still good.
Yes.
Still good. We are, we have our health and our strength. And it's funny because when you're younger, you don't really think about this. You'd be like, I'm living, I'm gonna wake up in the morning, this and the other. Just, as we always say, during the course of this year and last year, we have seen lives go that generally would shock you.
Man.
And
Man.
Like, let's pay reverence. I don't know, did we ever talk about losing who we lost? Her is Bustin' Loose. With what was your favorite movie with her?
With Cicely Tyson?
Yes.
I don't know if I have a favorite. It's just her.
Okay.
It's just her. We had this colorism discussion.
She broke that barrier though.
You understand what I'm saying? We had this colorism discussion a few weeks ago on the show that we had gotten into, and just the fact that she was her. Just the fact that for me, I'm saying, just the fact that she was her, just the fact that she looked like what she looked like. Just the fact that when she speaks, if I have a movie, I think honestly for me, just her being her, I don't care what she did me, younger and older.
Yes.
That's enough for me. Just even in telling her story to Gail King recently, right before she passed away.
Yeah, right before though. Right before.
Literally, right. That wasn't expected, you know, from her family and from her culture, and the fact that.
And she said something in that last interview that stuck with me. Basically, in a summation, she just, you know, she did, and she completely did, and she lived for a really long time.
Yeah,
a really long time, and I'm really you say that when a elder dies, a library burns. Mm-hmm. And that statement basically is saying that there's a lot of wisdom that goes with that. But just watching her throughout the years, she's been here for the time change, for entertainment, as you said.
No,
she's been here for the, you know, the roles that they would have actually. And me and you are very candid about talking about colorism, being that we are different in color, but we also understand so much more than people would think. But that she would not be selected for certain roles because of what she looked like. That's a real thing. But that she triumphed through all of that.
Yeah.
And still continue.
It does. Mm-hmm. Not to get on the obituary train, you know, as our mothers would do, you know, call you in the living room and be like, did you know something?
You know, such and such that? Yes.
Who got the body? But what really just took me out recently, and I'm gonna tell you why, was Fred Price. The pastor, Fred Price, took me out. Let me tell you why it took me out.
Why? I mean, not why, like, you know, shocked. Like
no, I'm gonna tell from my aunt, my father's sister. And so going to North Carolina, when we walked in the house, Fred Price was on TV. When we finally got there, 9 times out of 10, if we weren't watching something as a family that night, before I went to sleep, Fred Price was on ingrained in me.
Yeah.
Because that's all my aunt watched. And so I have so many memories surrounded around Fred Price. Hear Fred Price in the background. You understand what I'm saying? So many of my memories of being in North Carolina, and my father, who has also passed away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So many of my memories included Fred. Like it hit me as if it was my own uncle or my own, you know, relative. I was like, oh, like not him too. You know what I mean? You talk about legacy, you know, his legacy was in the religious community.
Absolutely.
And you know, and all that he did there. And I am going to get back to this because our guest who is coming later on, who is an artist, and who actually is a rapper. However, his body of work speaks to, you know, what we're talking about right now. His body of work speaks to legacy, speaks to us as a people, speaks to when our guest comes on. But we never got a chance to really talk about that or focus on that on the show.
Yes.
So
yes,
I
went to Puerto Rico, which was an amazing trip. I got an amazing tan, which I always look for. You know, a little hesitant because of COVID going on to see how the world was on the other side. But and which I did. So, but no complaints. It was beautiful.
Where, Puerto Rico or on vacation?
Yeah, I thought you went to vacation.
Or vacation.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. So
that'll be twice for you.
Yeah. So, you know, God willing, that'll happen. We'll all be safe and sound and enjoy. Always a favorite. And I just we discussed the discussion that by the beginning of March. We have a discussion coming up entitled Emotional State of Black Women Right Now. We are going to have a couple of therapists that are going to be on, and we are discussing everything. We are discussing everything, your bad decisions to the list we all have in dating. Does that make you more attainable or less attainable? All of that. So I definitely want to make sure that you guys are all aware. And as soon as we have all of that information for you, we're gonna have all that information for you for the beginning of March on how you can sign up and be a part of that meeting. It is going to be a private meeting, but we will have that information for you soon. In the meantime, I did say that because that also segues into our guest that will be coming on in a little bit at 7:30. That segues into the song, one of the songs that I actually played in our promo, entitled Black Woman, from our guest who is going to be coming on soon. And I just want to know what his thoughts were behind creating that and what the message is that he wanted to convey in that. Because unfortunately, while we have so many songs from Angie Stone and more, Black Brother, Strong Brother, I'm not sure how many songs I can count about Black women being strong or great. Again, this also goes to one of our previous shows where we had the topic, protect Black women, which, landed us in a bit of turmoil with our brethren,
yes.
to say the least. But so, yeah, I definitely want to get into that. And I definitely want to discuss the meaning behind that and where that came from, because again, we're in some very interesting times where topics that we didn't otherwise focus on in the past, it seems like we are able to show it now. And definitely, I want to continue to use our platform to do so.
Absolutely. So,
we have some pretty serious and heavy topics that are coming up. But in the meantime, on a lighter note, just quick hot topics in entertainment before we go ahead and get to our guests in the next 10 minutes or so. Kim and Kanye are supposed to be divorcing. Thoughts?
Welcome back, brother. What did I say? We're going to get him back. You mean you talked about
what does that mean, sis? What does that mean?
I feel like, not for nothing, I feel like something happens when men are attached to the Kardashians. I have no idea what that is. I don't know who it is. I don't know what entity that is. I don't know.
You said you're like, oh.
I just saw a skit between Country Wayne and Lamar. And Lamar fun. Okay? Lamar is fun.
Yeah, he's good.
Lamar was doing crap. Like
I'm gonna answer these emails over here. You go ahead and talk, sis, because I can't do this with you. I can't do this with you.
Listen, I feel like we gonna get some real good music. He gonna get it together. And I'm being mindful of what I'm saying. I'm gonna be honest. I'm being very mindful. Of what I'm saying. But I just feel like he needs.
Snoop said that.
He does.
Snoop said that a while ago system. And in the event he had someone of a different cultural background, things for him might be a little different.
Me and you talked about this a while ago. And Kanye is a Gemini man, but we talked about this a while ago in that his mother was what kept him.
It was his grounding.
It was his grounding, his footing. It was everything. It was everything. And she was able to do that.
Yeah.
When she left, that is when. Now, he's always had, I believe he's always had like a mental illness, this, that, and the other. But he does not have that strength behind him. He does not. He does not have it. And he needs it.
The grounding, and you and I had a conversation.
I am not, let me tell you something, and I'm not speaking ill of her whatsoever, because she does well for the capacity that she can do. You understand what I'm saying? She definitely needs someone else, like take your meds, whatever. And, it's a lot of them out there, Chanel.
A lot of who's out there.
A lot of people that when we look at them, it is actually who is beside them that we can.
I'm sorry, my cell phone just dropped as you were saying it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
It's who is beside them that we can. It's almost like we always say it. Like, a lot of times beside a strong man is a strong woman. And I just I don't know, Chanel. I just think that she just focus on raising the kids. Preferably they can co-parent well when she is not. Right. He gets the help that he truly needs. Right. That he not cut off because he had certain people in his life that actually, had he still had them in his life, he'd be better. He'd be better. He cut off a lot of his dude friends. And then when I say dude friends, you know how we have sister friends where you check us and you pull our coattail and be like, bruh, come, you wildin', whatever. He cut off a lot of people.
A lot of lifelines.
Oh, yes. He did. He did. And I'm not saying he cut it off for a specific reason. Maybe the mental illness, he cut it off. Maybe, maybe it's just for whatever reason, he disconnected from people I think would have helped him. And sometimes we tend to do that, don't we, Chanel?
Hello. Hello. You have a lot of people who enter into relationships and marriages and will cut off lifelines for the relationships. Now, granted, I see where and why people need a balance. Some people are toxic to your relationship, and your relationship actually is a good thing for you, right? And it's feeding you, and it's a positive thing, right? And some people can become toxic to that relationship. However, and of course, you and I, being friends for as long as we've been, and
20+ years,
and discussing everything that we discuss, you need other people. Now, you don't need a bunch of people, but you and I are in agreement that you need at least one person to bounce some things off of.
You have to.
Because you are not going to be right in everything you feel, say, or do. And you need someone that you trust, that is non-biased, that even if they don't know.
Just what you said in one of our conversations. You have thought every thought you're going to think, right?
Every single
thought you're going to think.
Yeah.
How you evolve is by listening to other people and their ideas, right? So that's why I'm not above sitting down with whomever from whomever's culture, because there are certain times when I just think my way. Because look, I'm me. I think my way.
Yeah.
There are other people that don't think your same way.
Right.
There is a difference in the way we think, the way we react to things, the way we approach certain things.
Yeah.
And people can teach you different approaches. Let me give you an example. My mother,
ahead, sis. We got 2 minutes left because we got to get our guest.
Swore by it. Her mother used tie. Everybody used tie. I was not a tie person. I didn't like tie. I used game.
I love game.
That is my favorite. My mom used game. I used game, one time to wash her clothes, or I gave her game. And my mother was like, used tie. Everybody around her used tie. Everybody swore by tie. Here I come. the new age, the daughter who's like, nah, or being like, oh, let me see what she's using, or let me see, or being able to adapt and change the idea of Tide is the end all be all. You know, if I can get my mother to change her washing powder.
I get your point. Sometimes you have to find against a voice that you trust.
Absolutely.
That is not a yes person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't need to be surrounded by yes people. That if you let me bounce this off you real quick. So-and-so said to me, or my wife, or my husband, or my spouse, and no, you don't tell all your marital business.
No,
that is not what we're saying. Now, I know that I can do that with you, and you'll be like, you know what I mean? And vice versa. I'll do the same with you. Like, well, maybe you need to try this a little different, or maybe that's not the way you should do it, or, you know. So, it's crazy, but you need that. And with Kanye, like, you know,
I just don't even. I think he even his career. He kind of not that he's a brilliant.
I think so.
He is brilliant. First of all, even the church thing he just did.
I think so.
He is a brilliant man.
You know, most Geminis have a lot of ideas.
I hate you.
You know,
Aries are a lot smarter, but but no, he's a brilliant guy, but he definitely needs to change the people that actually surround him.
So maybe he will fit. This is my segue, Jeff, so you can bring our guest in. So maybe he will eventually get back to Black Matters in his music instead of some of the,
and I'm gonna welcome him back,
the off-brand stuff that we've been getting that we may not necessarily understand. But in the meantime, our guest for this evening does have an album entitled Black Matters. This is the latest one that has come out. So everybody, please help give us a warm virtual welcome. That's my new thing, warm virtual welcome to our guest for the evening and rapper, Locke. Yes. How are you?
Come on in.
I'm good. How's everybody doing today?
How are you?
We are well. I'm not sure if you heard a bit of our conversation.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I did not get a chance to. I've been
because we segued, this topic into your album.
Okay.
I mentioned, just entertainment hot topics.
Yes, right.
My host here says to me, well, maybe we'll get Kanye back. And we during the course of their marriage and their relationship kind of got rid of some of his lifelines, people that he needed that may have been able to help him stay
around him.
Be with him. He needed someone of a different cultural background because maybe they would have been able to help him. I then in turn said Black Matters, which was a segue into your album.
Okay.
So I want to go through.
Chanel.
Yeah. What's the question?
This is the thing. Do you think? What is your thoughts on their divorce? What is your thoughts on him musically?
I'll start with the music.
Okay.
I think Kanye West is he's a musical genius.
Yes.
I think he's a better producer than he is a rapper, but I definitely think he is a good rapper.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been creative. He's been on this grind. I've seen him once, but I've never formally met him or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is I'm speaking from a media perspective, so to speak. However, I don't feel like his music, that's what's going to reflect in your music, maybe your beat making, maybe your lyrics. Kanye seems to be a person that's not only writing lyrics, he's doing sneakers, he's a fashion guy, he's into multiple things. He expresses his creativity, from what I can tell, in a multitude of different things.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how him going from listening to stories about him being a 14, 15-year-old kid around different people in the industry. He's been that guy that wants to rap and make beat. He's been that. He is this creative dude. As far as his marriage, really, I just think, I don't know what happened. I think it's an unfortunate situation because kids were involved. I don't, you're dealing with celebrities of two totally different statuses. Kim Kardashian has her own brand and her own lane, and that comes with a lot.
Yes.
Kanye West is in the elite of elites as far as music, doing projects with Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying, and just being that sought out producer. You have both of these worlds colliding. Kim got her world, Kanye got his world. Who knows what those private conversation was that led to this and led to that. But I do know, if you have kids, and now you're talking about getting divorced and things of that nature, and it's in the public, it's a different type of strain. You know what I mean? So, I wish for the tell. He seemed like he was really in love with the lady.
Oh no, they love each other.
Yeah, passion really truly affected him. When you listen to his lyrics, he was like, suicide when my mama passed. You know what I'm saying? When you pay attention to that, and then my
wow,
those were the things that Kanye was going through. You know what I'm saying? You think about killing yourself. His mom was his rider. They moved from Chicago to like Jersey.
That's what he said.
So who knows how that, and that's not something you just get over.
No.
You know what I mean? That's time, and then you got kids, and then you gonna miss your mom more. Like, I wish for the best for the brother, you know what I'm saying? And I hope he still has a opportunity. I know he has the opportunity, but I hope he still comes out and gives the world his creative talent.
uses his gifts,
True indeed. True indeed. True indeed.
All right. So okay. All right. That's Kanye.
That was great.
Kanye. Enough for Kanye. Thank you
for
your take on it. But I want to, again, I'm going to read some of your titles.
Okay.
Black Woman.
Yes.
Black Men Rock.
Yes.
The Conductor. Love that. Run America.
Yes.
Invent.
Yes.
Slavery.
Yes.
Pharaoh's Gold.
Yes.
Congresswomen.
Yeah.
So my favorite is the MLK one.
The name MLK.
You say some real stuff in there. It's deeper than politics. You say a lot of things in there that are excellent. Giving honor to this man.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I feel like, we had the narrative of, I'm a Malcolm X fanatic. My father, had
that's my heart.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I understand it was a narrative of he's nonviolent and turn the other cheek and things of that nature. But when you put your life on the line for a cause, that's an unbelievable amount of strength. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he has his marital issues and all of that.
I mean,
but when you put
a lot of great
life,
men, right?
Some, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say a lot of great men. That wasn't Malcolm. But, when you put your life on the line for a cause, I think it should be the ultimate respect for, and die, and knew he was about to. And you facing that danger, you looking the beast in the eye, pulling his mask off, and you looking back like, what's up? And he did that. You know what I'm saying? So everybody talking about, are you having dogs sick on you? Are you leading parades and getting water hose? Are you going to jail for your people on a regular basis? Nah, you're not doing that, right? So Martin Luther King, man, once I really, really got into his story and knew what type of genius he was, going to Morehouse, I think when he was like 15 or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's the man, he was a genius. He's gone too soon. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their flaws, you know what I mean? But I really respect people who put their life on the line. People didn't even hear my Malcolm X song yet. You know what I'm saying? So, I wanted to kind of let Martin Luther King and this song breathe for a little while. So
why this album and why now?
It was Black History Month. I wanted to take a compilation of songs from Lesson 1, Lesson 2, and the Wolves EP, put them together and put it out this month to celebrate Black history, to celebrate Black culture. And I really didn't see a lot of music coming out for Black History Month that was specifically dedicated to our own issues and our people and our causes. I was looking for it, but I didn't see it. You know what I mean? So this was, and I wanted to put something out in the month of February for a long time. Yeah, I ran into so many obstacles doing that, even with this Black Matters album. When you're putting out a Black album, you run into crazy obstacles. That people don't want to promote your joint. I had songs that I had to remove off the album because they're saying this is an issue and that's an issue. It was bugged out. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It would have been out. You know what I mean? I would have been able to put out whatever I want. But this album, man, it caused so many problems. You know what I'm saying? But I have a good team. My wife and I, was on the job, and she really did her part to help me put this, together and push it to the people.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned your wife, so we just want to go into it. Black Woman.
Black Woman, first of all, that song is by myself and my brother Capone, who's a little under the weather right now, I'll say. So I'm praying for that brother. But that was a conversation that we had when we was in the studio. He really came into the studio talking about Assata Shakur. And I was, once he brought her up and we were talking about Black women, I brought up Queen and Zinga. So these are two people that he has his reasons for wanting to. We didn't plan on it. We didn't say, yo, let's make a song about Black women. We really came into the studio, and it was a conversation. And during that conversation, it was like, yo, you know what? We're gonna make a song to this. And that's how Black Woman came about, man. It was just the pure respect that we have for these sisters, and it was something that we just wanted to do for our ladies. Your wife,
but we were talking about how we had a previous show on Protect Black Women. Yes. And on our show, we received a lot of backlash from Black men.
From Black who?
Men.
Really?
Yes. So we received a lot of backlash on the topic.
Well, tell him some of the things. Like some people, a lot of people, the backlash was basically we didn't feel heard. You know what I mean? We didn't feel heard. And a lot of men were dismissive of what we felt or thought. It was almost like, it's not that serious. We're like,
so for example, we brought up it was what started the entire series was Meg Thee Stallion being shot
by Tory Lanez or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We said that too.
Right. And that's what started the series. And we kind of snowballed from there to, we do need to protect Black women. And it seems as though, so we got into this discussion, and it was a group discussion where we were taking calls and, and we had messages coming in, and we quickly realized that our brothers did not.
In between, we know the Black man has things that they deal with. Hands down, we don't compare to that. You got to deal with the police. You deal with being the provider and say, look, this is what we deal with. We're typecast, we're pigeonholed, we're put in a box, just certain things. We want to feel loved. We want to feel, whatever. When we go in corporate, we can't act for somebody thinking that I have an attitude or, I am labeled a female dog, I'll say. So it just was, it was us basically saying, this is what we feel. We want to feel protected. Like, I don't know if you remember, but I don't know how old you are, but back in the day, it was women and children. Like, we had a honor for women and children. Now you see guys punching women in the face. You see guys on the news just disrespecting women because she don't want to give them, her number. It's just a lot of things that we go through. So we were just explaining those issues, and it just went left.
It went left.
Not trying to cause division, but please understand our plight.
Right.
As we understand y'all, because we're behind you. You know what I mean? Like, we're there.
Right. And And so you and Capone creating this song, Black Woman, we were saying, we definitely can recall all the songs about Black men, strong, Angie Stone. This here, because as much as some people will say it's known, it's rare.
Right.
It's rare. It's rare. And so for you two to come together to do that and to put that out there, I guess it just makes us feel good, and it makes us feel warm that we weren't alone in our thinking, with you having that song.
First of all, thank you. Secondly, just to address a couple of issues, I think it's sad, that we've allowed for other cultures to really kind of infiltrate our family structure. And it's even sadder that to hear that my brothers are on a particular side of that. Women, if you go back to slavery and you think about your man, being beaten, your man and a mom and a dad being whipped, beaten, ladies was being pulled by horses so that the baby, all of this stuff that we had to go through, and the Black woman our woman was still like the backbone of our brothers, even in that situation. Just to think of the type of mentality that our sisters have towards our men, even in those type of situations. So to get to a point where our brothers are attacking our women and not understanding that is disheartening. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could really, really speak to some of those brothers who was calling them myself and, just have a man-to-man conversation with them. But, it's a new mentality that's being pushed. It's a way, the world wants to divide the Black family. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. The Black man is the original man. We're the strongest people on the planet Earth. And I'm not saying that anybody else or other cultures, should bow down or anything like that. But there's a fact of the matter here. You know what I mean? So, we're losing that, and our whole entire family structure is being attacked. There is the man versus woman thing now. There is the femininity of the Black man and the masculinity of the Black woman. There is these like role reversals that people are trying to put into our households and divide us. And then people are taking that narrative and bringing it in without even doing the knowledge or the science. It's crazy to me that somebody would even call up and what are you going to say? I'm not supposed to protect the Black woman. You're not supposed to protect. I got a wife and 3 daughters. You know what I mean? Like, so what is the conversation that I'm supposed to have with one of these brothers? We're going to take it a step further. Why should I protect you when you walk by me and I tell you to smile and you don't? Yeah, that's crazy and that's feminine. That's part of the femininity of the Black man.
In order for you to protect me.
These were literally comments that we were getting. I mean, they ran the gamut, but that was literally one of the comments. Why should I protect you when you walk by me and I tell you to smile and you don't?
So I didn't smile on command. Now I can't be protected by you.
That's just it's absolutely ridiculous. It's even hard to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the song Black Woman, say the Black woman is God. She birthed man like blackness due to stars. Like the cosmos give birth to our stars. That's how the Black in the womb, she births man. When the Creator made her, a portal opened in time. So I'm saying now we're able to exist. That's something that you have to respect. You know what I'm saying? Like we aren't the portals. You know what I mean? We're it's sad to hear, man. And like I said, I really wish I could talk to those brothers because there's a miseducation going on. Absolutely. There's a division going on, and there really is an attack on the roles, what we're supposed to do. Like there's not supposed to be a man does this and a family works together. It's a team. This is a group thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we do whatever we got to do for our family that's in the best interest. It's not really like, well, my role is this and you do that and you cook and I cook in my crib. You know what I'm saying? It's my wife goes to work. You know what I mean? It's just sad. You know what I'm saying? But I understand that there's an attack on the Black household. I understand that, Black men are being taught or being raised in a way that is just becoming more feminine by the hour. Our emotions, our views of the Black woman. There's men that want to change into women and then beat up women. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a whole different world going. There's a real attack going on with the Black family, and there's a real attack going on with the structure.
Right. Listen, you're talking about. We can have 4 to 5 shows back to back on that particular topic. That is something that we discuss often. But I don't want the fellas that are watching right now to think we are.
Oh no, not at all.
Bashing or
we
doing
don't want
anything.
them to think that we're doing what? Because I'm a man, so
speaking too much of the truth that they can't handle right now. So
sad to say. Like, we're not going to speak truth to the Black man. Like, yo, that's even crazy to even think about. Because they can't take it.
Yeah.
Like, yo, that's just wild, man.
You had to see. I wish you was around to see it. The responses, because we thought we had a great show and that we were actually in. It's almost like, all right, how we always say, let us bring certain things, in-house things. We need to bring some things to the table. So it was almost like us having men at our table and then us explaining what we feel. So we thought we were having a dialogue and whatever. And then we look and we get the calls and then we look on Facebook and the comments was like, and me and her both just literally sat and stared at each other like.
There were men in groups that posed the questions that we asked on their page.
They had on their Facebook
discussions about everything for this song, because even though we are excelling and I feel like we're doing more as a culture, we still have like my friend said here, we still have some issues of things that have to be worked out. We still have some issues where we need healing, and there's some discussions that still need to occur. So again,
Indeed.
I thank you for that. Black Men Rock.
That's to my brothers.
Black Men Rock.
That was to my brothers. I originally there's two forms of that song. A brother by the name of Michael Taylor came to me and asked me to write like an anthem for Black men. And I came up with the original version for Black Men Rock. And then I wanted to do my own, the whole second verse, and me and Merk flipped the beat and all of that. But number one, it was not only for Black men, it was for Black people. So when I'm saying Black Men Rock, I was really talking about the culture. I was really talking about our accomplishments, but I really wanted our brothers to stand up, and I wanted that chant to be in there. Black men, Black men, Black men. Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, there is an attack on our family, but there is an attack on Black males, but there is also an attack on Black females. Like, it's not a separate attack. It's not like police aren't attacking females and just attacking dudes. Like, everybody, if you Black, you Black. You know what I'm saying? As Malcolm X once said, you don't get lynched because you're a Christian, or you take all this because you Black.
Yeah.
So I wanted to really just create a song that was going to be more of an anthem, so that we can kind of celebrate it and we can even say that chant. You know what I mean? And then that was just about accomplishments going. I say, what's America without the Black labor? You know what I mean? So when you think about that, what is America without the Black labor?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What is some of people's faith without the burnt brass savior? If you're a Christian, you know what I'm saying? You're going to go with Jesus who had the feet of burnt brass, not just brass, burnt brass.
Right.
So that's just a testament to how everybody in the world is, attaches to Black people and Black culture in some sort of way, but then you kind of want to strip it, and then you kind of want to make it this. It's wild, but we definitely are an attacked group of people for whatever reason. And I wanted to make that song just as a chant, just as an anthem, and just as an ode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what happened.
So you're an entertainer and you're a writer. I want to know, put us there, right?
Yeah.
Have a specific moment or time period, or do you wait for something to come to you? Do you come up with ideas? How does that work for you? How does that process go?
There's a couple of different things that happen. Number one is sometimes I just have music in my head. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those guys that just I'm a rapper, you know what I'm saying, by nature. So it's and I feel like people who love to rhyme, you rhyme. You know what I'm saying? This is not like a forced thing. When I do educational hip hop, it is because I read a lot. And there's information that I want to share. You know what I mean? There's a different level that I'm on. And I enjoy doing this kind of music. You know, it's a different page. You know what I mean? It's I can just go and talk about whoever. I'm inspired by so many people, and I want to tell their stories in ways that I don't think that their stories are being told. Like a Harriet Tubman, like a Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on a song about Paul Robeson, or like a Queen Nzinga, or like a Sada Shakur. You know, or we could talk about the Haitian Revolution, or talk about different people of the past that were warriors, you know, Bambaataa, and OC Tutu, and, you know, different things of that nature. So the process is, number one, being inspired by things that I've read. And then number two, just having like that itch to really just be like, yo, I just want to go and create. And I got this burning desire to get into the studio and go nuts. You know what I mean? So that's just one of those things that I'm always going to do. It won't leave me. I've actually quit rhyming a couple times. And when I say quit, it's like you go through different phases of your life where you feel like, you know, I want to do something different. I'm getting a little older, you know what I mean? I want to take this direction, but I'll just have rhymes in my head, you know what I mean? And then I just got to get them out. So
right. You need an outlet for them.
True indeed.
So, question for you.
Yes.
Because you're conscious, brother. I can tell. You know, I always can tell by the dialect or just what you say. And, you know, were you always like this? I'd like to go back to you as a boy child and you as the man now. I know there's some, you know, but how did you gain this knowledge? Because you just don't wake up being woke. You know what I mean? Like you.
It's a variety of different things.
I said that, like, you know.
No doubt. You know, one of the things that ended up, there's really two, I think, dynamics that happened here. Number one is I grew up in an environment of constant debates. So I'm from New Brunswick, New Jersey. I've lived all over New Brunswick, Franklin, but New Brunswick is my hometown. I was born there, lived there. My family still lives there. I also lived in Willingboro, New Jersey. That's my second. I grew up with the Jehovah's Witness. I grew up with brothers debating all the time on the corner. That was just my environment. I lived in apartment buildings in the projects when I was in New Brunswick, and then I moved to another apartment building. That's a different environment. You're always around people. You know, you're just in the hallway. There's discussions all the time. So I think that planted a seed, but I still wasn't there with, you know, wanting to be conscious of this and that, but it planted a seed because I wanted to get involved in those arguments eventually. The reading came from in the 4th grade. That year just changed my entire life. I mean, I was even at a young age, it was just a crazy young age that I've had. You know what I'm saying? My 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old ages was nuts. So by the time I moved into my grandmother's house, it was a situation where everything had changed. I'm coming from an apartment building. My mom works in New York. We still in cars. We staying out all night. We doing whatever we want. I moved with my grandma. She's from the South. She don't play that. I'm not hanging out at night. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, I'm coming home from school. If my grades ain't right, I'm getting whoopings. You know what I mean? The only thing I had in that situation was a stack of Walt Disney encyclopedias. So I went from doing whatever I want as a child, you know what I'm saying, coming into the 4th grade, which I'm still a child, still a young little kid, little boy, just crazy, just fighting, you know what I mean, doing a bunch of wild stuff, to now I'm listening to my grandmother because she will strip you naked and beat you with a switch. So there's a certain level of I'm not going to do nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I had was that Walt Disney Encyclopedia. You know what I mean? So at night, because I was so used to staying up all night, I couldn't go to sleep. So I just read them. And I ended up reading the whole joint. You know what I mean? I had nothing else to do. I was bored out of my mind. But that incident, and I only lived with my grandmother for that one day in 4th grade. You know what I'm saying? I was back with my mom living in New Brunswick in the 5th grade. But that experience of just staying there, staying up all night, reading those books until I had to get up in the morning to go to school, it just changed my whole way of living and thinking. Now I just read this whole entire and it was a kid's encyclopedia thing, but I read the whole volume. You know what I mean? It was, I don't know, 100 books or something like that. So that moment, I became an avid reader. You know what I'm saying? And with reading that encyclopedia, I was still getting into a lot of trouble in the school system in Franklin. Brunswick and Franklin is right next to each other.
Yeah, I'm very
Brunswick kid coming over. Okay, so you know what I mean. So
I went to church in New Brunswick, George Street, Tabernacle.
Yeah, I know. My mom goes into Franklin. You know, them Franklin boys and the New Brunswick boys, we fight a lot. Yeah, I had to, I got in wild trouble. I wasn't allowed in class like the last 2 months. I went to Hillcrest. You know what I mean? Which is right on, was that Franklin Boulevard?
Boulevard, so, yes. I know where that is, yes.
Right, you know what I mean? When I got in trouble, I had to read. My Aunt Denise was there. She made me read The Narrative Tales of Frederick Douglass. She made me read Race Matters by Cornel West. Couldn't understand it. But I had to read that, but not for a 4th grader. You know what I'm saying?
Boring for a 4th grader, but now we get like.
I didn't understand. I didn't read that book till I got in college.
He was my teacher in college at Rutgers.
Yeah, went to Rutgers, New Brunswick. You know what I mean? I only applied to one school, one college.
So did we.
Like, so did we.
All right, salute. You know what I'm saying? I got in the Cook and transferred over to Livingston.
That was Cook was my thing. Yeah, that was where I lived.
College Ave to Livingston. Yeah. College Ave to Livingston.
Okay. Yeah. I'm living out in the quads, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was my stomping grounds. But that year just changed my entire life. Having to just read and do that. That's what started the reading. I didn't read prior to that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, except for school, barely did homework. You know what I mean?
And it just made you hungry for knowledge.
No TV. I'm up. You know what I'm saying? Used to staying up to 4 or 5 in the morning. I'll read a page. Then that page became 2 pages. Then the pages became 3 pages. You know what I mean? Over a course from September to that summer, you know what I'm saying? I didn't move back with my mom's again until the summer, but that entire year, that's all I did every single night. And then I was so fascinated with the stuff that I was, oh my God, this is crazy. So that changed my entire life as far as reading is concerned.
And how did the reading though? When did the reading transition into rapping?
Yeah.
At what point did you say, you know what? I have all of this knowledge stored up. I have read almost everything on this particular topic or this person or this subject. When did the creative side come together and say, you know what? I can use this information.
I began rapping in the 4th grade as well. I had my first group, me and my man Tyshawn Bradley. And the crazy thing is we cool now and all that, but that was my first rap partner. I would always, after I started reading those books, I would hit sprinkles of this and sprinkles of that into my lyrics because I thought it was just something dope to say. But I wasn't really trying to teach people. It would just be like, yo, a dope metaphor. I thought you don't know about this or that. And I just hit you with something crazy. And I was a battle rapper. So, I'm saying all sorts of stuff. By the time I got after I graduated from college, I met a group of people at my time in Rutgers, New Brunswick. My man Kyle Newsom, my man Deshaun Taylor. You know what I'm saying? It was a group of us. We formed this company called realhiphop.com. But my man New came to me and was like, yo, I want you to do this kids album. You know what I'm saying? We was working on a project. We was going to get a bunch of brothers together and then we was going to put out a kids album. when he asked me to do that, I was already working on a song about the first 25 presidents, but I was doing it for adults. I was doing it on like the Illuminati. I'm gonna just do this for children because you're asking me to do this project and I want to be a part of it. At that moment, after the first educational song that I ever completely wrote was the first 25 presidents, which is on lesson 1. After that, I then wrote Black Women in Congress. I then wrote The Moors. I then wrote Black Inventors. I didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo, and it was every song came out of my library. Every song. Black Women in Congress is a book. You know what I'm saying? The first 25 presidents is another book. You know, I got a crazy library. So all of the music that you hear is I just went to my library. You know what I mean? And it was just coming out, and it was something I enjoyed. After me and that group, after we kind of disbanded, you know, we're still friends and brothers to this day. But when the business didn't work out, and when that project didn't materialize, I took it upon myself to this company with me because she's a great marketer. I'm a great MC. So in my head, you know what I mean? But that's the moment that whole seed was planted. I did not want to stop. And then I started traveling, and what really, really got me was I started traveling, and I'm going to all of these hoods, meeting with all of these kids, and some of them couldn't even read. You know what I mean? So I'm performing, I'm doing this educational music, and when you're going into the effect, I remember the female, I was in Philly, it was a STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math joint. I had to perform, and this girl could barely spare her name, not want to stop. I'm like, because teaching is important, and I'm giving people information, and this is an unconventional method of doing this specifically for kids. There's a lot of educational hip hop artists that I follow from. I did not invent this blueprint, but there's not a lot of people that is doing it the way that I'm doing it on a continuous basis. So, you know, I enjoy it. I've been getting great response from it. The company has constantly been growing. It started out small. It started out, you know, just an album, not a CD, and different, you know what I mean, and different high schools, and you know, you're not getting paid. You know, no hood got no money to pay no artists. You know what I'm saying? So this having that experience, and then having your music grow, and then being able to do shows with 30,000 people, and then being able to have your whole to do it. Then now I'm doing joints with Tyler Kweli. Now I got a whole educational EP with Capone from CNN, and that's my brother now. You know what I mean? So, and it just hasn't stopped growing in that vein. You know, I can do this, and I'm going to continue to do it.
So your gift made room for you.
Yeah, I created my own lane.
This is
most definitely.
This is what I want to ask. So, how do you stay grounded in a commercialized world? Because what happens is a lot of times I see, you know, rappers and lyricists and everybody so woke and whatever originally when they first come out. They got all the knowledge, they drop all the knowledge, this, that, and the other, and then they switch or do away with how you're rapping and the knowledge and giving positive influences for our people, and they switch and go to a totally different realm of rapping, and it kind of just buy into. That's what I want to say. They buy into the hype, and the hype meaning a totally different way of rapping, a commercialized way of rapping. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Well, I'm the same guy. You know what I'm saying? If you know, I got a friend that I've been friends with since kindergarten. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man C, and he's crazy, as crazy as I am. Or was, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like the same dude, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I have my, you know, you can rattle my cage and see something different, but I'm the same cool dude I've kind of always been, you know what I'm saying? And that's just been my life, you know what I'm saying? So I am who I am. Changing is not really something that I'm really, if you run into somebody who knows me, they'll be like, yo, that's the same dude I was in what's the name with. That's the same dude I came up in the lunchroom with. You know what I mean? I'm the same cool dude. I got the same demeanor. I always could talk. You know what I mean? So I'm not really concerned. And, you know, I've always been an athlete. I've always been kind of in a particular crowd that, you know, I've always been in a particular loop and in a particular crowd, you know what I'm saying? Whether rapping, whether being an athlete, whether throwing, you know, I've always remained that same dude in whatever environment that I was in. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Sports really helped me because being a football player, I was able to just go into different hoods and be in different schools and be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like people know you athlete and you can rap and you know, so I never had to change or switch or worried about, yo, let me do this. I was already in this particular crowd. And now I'm just a grown man and I'm just the same person. So I'm not really concerned with that. And plus, I think you are who you are. You know what I mean? When people get into a different level, like let's say you you know, you like I use Michael Jackson as an example, right? When he bought a giraffe and a monkey and all of that, and that was him. You know what I'm saying? He just had the money to be as crazy as he want to be. You know what I mean? You can't go to that extreme and have a monkey named Bubbles if it's not part of who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Part of who you are already.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Money don't change you. They say it just brings out who you truly are. So I'm not, you know, I mean, I'm good money, and you know what I'm saying. So it's I'm never concerned with changing that or being grounded. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
My mom keep me on point. My wife I got 3 daughters that keep me on point. My grandma, my aunt, you know, my brothers, my sisters. You know, I still have my family that I can talk to, and I have a group of friends that I call my brothers that I love to death. You know what I'm saying? And we all, you know, everything keeps us grounded. If somebody starts going different, it's gonna be like, yo, son, you wilding right now. You know
we just said that.
Just had that conversation.
You gotta have people in your corner like that.
We literally just had that conversation before you came on. You know, every thought that you're going to think. So you need someone else that comes in your circle to help you out with certain things.
Me and Chanel have been friends since we were kids, but it's 7 of us. So we all been friends since we were kids. I'm talking about spans back to what, 3rd grade? Kindergarten. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so we've been friends for a really long time, and it's like you said, when you have a true friends, you know, there's accountability.
Indeed.
But you wilding, friend. You need to calm down. You need to rethink, regroup, type of friend, and I need that for me as well. You know what I mean? But
and you could be put in timeout.
yes.
No?
Yes.
You could be put in timeout. Like, yo, son, you need to stay here until you get your mind right, bro. You know what I mean? I'm gonna check on you, but you are out of control right now. You know, you need that as well. Right. And sometimes that isolation from your people, it will force you.
It's
you know what I mean? To be like, yo, let me at least think about what's.
So
we did.
Literally just had that situation, but
like, I'll get back to you. You know,
you girl.
Happens.
But on this particular album, it's a remix. So you said you wrote it prior to now. Yes. Me just looking at it, I'm thinking Kamala's in office. You know, clearly that's where that had to derive from. But you're saying no. Give us a just a little bit about what that song is about.
The background, yeah.
Well, Black Women in Congress is on lesson 1. It's so you know, and lesson 1 came out 2012, I believe. Okay. You know, so this is before Kamala, this is before Barack and Michelle Obama. You know, this was given ode to the pioneers, the first women who paved the way for the rest of the women to get into politics. I wanted to write a song about them. Shirley Chisholm.
Shirley Chisholm, right.
Sheila Jackson Lee. And, you know what I'm saying? I wanted, those women are the reason, the people that we're forgetting. Without those female pioneers, we wouldn't be here, and no one is talking about them. So that was the original reason for that. The reason that there's a remix on lesson 1, there was a beat controversy at the moment.
Gotcha.
Having the rights. It turns out my man Mercury Beats did the beat to the remix, and I had got my hands on it and didn't know he made it. You know what I'm saying? So it was that's the only reason that I had to put the word. Give something to talk about the female pioneers in politics that I don't feel gets the shine or the credit that they deserve wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where Black Women in Congress comes from.
Okay. You mentioned Capone. I had the pleasure of actually interviewing you in Capone. I believe it was last year sometime, if I'm not mistaken.
The Wolves EP.
Yes. And then you mentioned Talib Kweli on featuring Talib Kweli on Run America. So I want to know, when you're creating these music, when you're creating these songs, do you have someone in mind already that you would want to collab with, or does that happen later on?
Well, it was a process. So lesson one, when we put that out, it was for the kids. It was for the people. You know, I didn't know that album would go around the world. Mm-hmm. I went from having this career of trying to get into the game, of trying to do this, of signing to different people, getting everybody's number, doing all that, always the nice rapper, getting your man's number and all that, to doing something for the kids. Now I'm doing interviews in Germany. Now people in Africa listen to the music. So it was like an unexpected, on the low kind of thing. So artists, but number two, I didn't think that there was anyone more perfect to have to do the kind of music and collaborations that I wanted to do for lesson two. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I went into it like, yo, I want to raise the stakes with lesson two. You know what I mean? So, and it was only a few people that I wanted to add. It's not like I wanted to have a featured album and all that. So there's only a few people. I reached out to Talib Kweli. He agreed. He was like, you know, my man, when he was his last name is Halsey, my last name is Henderson. We met in Homewood. You know what I'm saying? We're friends to this day. That's my man. So coming back, you know what I'm saying, working on this project and being like, yo, Merk, you know what I'm saying? Hook me over to Talib. He was like, cool, I can give you the introduction. I don't know what's going to happen. Talib, you know, his people's is educators. So this is a positive brother. He's one of the greatest lyricists ever. He listened to my music, read the story, and was like, yo, let's work together. Let's do this. Right. And that's how that happened. You know what I'm saying? Right. And then with the Capone, lesson two was already kind of wrapped up and done. And then Capone was lurking around in the studio with Merk because they was working on some, him and Daz got a project coming out.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, crazy project. So I'm like, yo, you know, introduce me to your man, you know what I'm saying? And then he made the formal introduction between me and Capone. But our first conversation and our first real meeting was in the studio session of Redemption. Redemption on lesson two. That was the first time that we met. Not the first time that we met, but that was the first time that we actually had a full-on fledged conversation.
Yeah.
So we wrapped up lesson two. And I thought it was a great album. The only thing that I think should have happened was I immediately went into creating Wolves because Capone and I had this crazy connection and this crazy bond. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't push lesson two as much as we could have, even though to me, it was like one of my best albums. I just went from, yo, we got lesson two, we put it out, we did an album release where we pushed it. But then we got right into doing the Wolves EP because me and Capone had this connect. He was like, yo, let's do another song. I'm like, cool. We did another song. He was like, yo, let's do an EP. I'm like, yo, say no more. And then that kind of went into a bunch of studio nights and conversating and seeing, yo, how could we do this and how could we fit? Because he didn't know what type of brother I was. Everybody kind of knows what type of brother Capone is. So it was like, we had to see who we were, you know what I'm saying? Because he was like, yo, I didn't know who you were, you know what I mean? Like, I'm thinking you this like nerd, you know what I'm saying? He actually told that to me. He was like, I didn't know if you was a nerd or a thug, my G. So it was, you know, we had to find certain things out, you know what I'm saying? I did my album release in New Brunswick, New Jersey, you know what I'm saying? I had my whole hood came out, you know what I mean? So it was, we had to learn about one another. And then we took that process, promoted Wolves, you know what I mean, and now we here. You know,
you said you had the first, you had the second. You started on Wolves with the collab with Capone. Now you have Black Matters, which I think is an excellent album. What is next? So what's coming up?
Okay, first of all, there's going to be a lot more music coming out because there's a lot more things that I want to discuss. There's a lot of issues that I feel that we don't pay enough attention to. You know, we don't really pay attention to the bus boycott of Montgomery. Outside of Rosa Parks, what do we really know about that?
True.
I'm beginning to understand that there's a misconception about what that actual boycott was about. Going to Rutgers, I gotta do a song about Paul Robeson. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's different things that I still want to discuss. So there's music coming out for Smart Hip Hop Global, and Capone and I formed this company called Smart Thug Entertainment. Basically, because we know where we come from, but because we know how we need to rap to certain people. And when I say rap, I mean how we need to communicate with the brothers coming up. And we know that they'll resonate with our souls and our spirits because we know that we're the same as them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Despite how we're talking and how we're moving.
Yeah.
So Smart Thug Entertainment is like, yo, you could be smart and you could still be from the streets. You don't have to choose, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be like, yo, I'm smart, I'm nerd, I'm trying to act other than black, as people sound of it. Be a thug as the way that Tupac used the word, you know what I'm saying? Not a thug that's going to break into your crib, and I'm not talking thuggery, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it in the frame of, yo, we people from the streets, you know what I'm saying? We all know how we get down, but that doesn't mean that you got to be no dummy. It doesn't mean that you can't pick up a book and read. It doesn't mean that you can't be intelligent.
Have knowledge and wisdom.
Who indeed helps you grow. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our brothers don't think they're going to get past 20, and they do. So it's like, so now that you're 30, now you're like, yo, you know what I mean? But you could already have some type of foundation. You don't got to just think you're going to die in your 20s and not plan for your 30s. And then you make it to 40 and you really assed out.
Right.
So
you're right. You're right about that.
You're right. You are absolutely right.
It's these brothers that we want to reach. It's these brothers that we're trying to get to think about something other than the streets, even though you can still focus on that if you like. I'm not trying to, change what you do. I know people's circumstances. There was a side of Shakur's and that Queen and Zinga music, but it's also going to give you different projects. You know what I'm saying? I've been working on a play forever, still trying to get it together.
Oh, wow.
Right before I get it out. But, we're working on plays. We got other business ventures that we're doing. We have other collaborations with other artists that we're about to do. And when the world opens back, the shows is going to be crazy. I'm not even going to get into the shows right now. I would like to talk about that with my brother Capone is next to me. Okay. But, I'll just say, what I'm saying, it's going to be some hip hop.
And all of that
foundation is it's the baby. To me, my wife and myself cultivated that company, so it'll never go anywhere. Smart Thug Entertainment is because, like I said, me and Capone, we just formed this brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know how similar we was in certain areas and stuff like that, and the energy connected. Like, that's my man. You know what I'm saying? We've only known each other for like 3 years, but we've been through some things. You know what I'm saying? That was real. So a connection formed, you know what I mean? And then we formed the company, and we have other things that we're working on that we're doing. So that's why Smart Thug Entertainment exists, but it's going to run concurrently and simultaneously with Smart Hip Hop Global.
Okay. Well, listen, unfortunately, we are coming to the end. These interviews go, you're like, oh my gosh, there's the time, and there's other shows that come on the station after this. Like, what am I doing? I want to know, what do you want to leave the people with? What do you want to leave them with as far as your messaging?
Wow. I'm leaving the people with a body of work that I feel as an artist, you need to just stay on your grind and continue to do. Prior to this educational journey, I probably got like 400 or 500 songs. That's not educational. That was the life before all of this. Man, that's who Got Yourself a Gun. That's my man. You know what I'm saying? So and that was in the 7th grade. So that he's another Willingboro brother that I'm at. You know what I mean? I've been doing it for a while. Things that I think will be timeless pieces and that you will be able to listen to and learn from. And it's also about just education. Like the next album, I'm doing a song about classical musicians. So it's not just going to be Black music per se. And we don't know their stories. We don't know that they was high and bugging out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a lot
and
to
they
tell.
were. Yeah.
They were.
They were.
Doing the research is just nuts. So I want to do how old I get or what happens. This is always a comfortable space for me because I'm just doing this. So I just want to continue to do it and leave that on the music side. Is, I'm a man, I'm a father, I'm a husband, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a friend, you know what I mean? And there's people that count on me. But musically, I just want to continue to share my gift with the world.
Listen, on that note, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for all of it. Is amazing. It is right on time. It is what we need. Having gone through, 2 pandemics in 2020, and racial injustice and inequality, and here on the show we focus on trying to have those deeper conversations to advance us as a culture, to advance us as a people. What you are doing is right on time for all of that. And so thank you to you. Thank you to you for doing that, because we need more. We need more. So don't stop what you're doing. Please don't stop what you're doing, because we definitely need more of it. Queen B, any final thoughts? Because we are running over time.
I'm sorry. I would just say the same. It's like you said, timeless pieces. I remember growing up with self-destruction. That will never get old, right?
Nah.
It's a timeless piece that we could actually take things from that and bring that to the timeless pieces. And I love the fact that you're doing something that moves our people forward. I'd love to see this brother on one of our forums.
Yeah.
I'd love to know. I'd love to see him on our forum. I would. We do a lot of forums and things. We'll
set it up.
Oh yeah, I'll be there. I promise you.
Because your knowledge is very much needed.
Thank you. I appreciate that fully.
All right. So then listen, we'll talk behind the scenes on, things that we have coming up. But again, thank you so much for being there tonight. I don't want our producer to start yelling. He starts sending us text messages
like, get off.
So before he starts doing that, because we didn't receive one yet, I just want to say thank you again for that. We will talk behind the scenes, and we will definitely be in touch, because we have some things that are coming up. COVID has kind of stopped us, because we always had things in person. And now we're moving them into the virtual space. So we will definitely be in touch behind the scenes on that. Thank you for just spending time and sharing your knowledge and sharing your wisdom and sharing your art and your project with us for this evening. And hopefully we will have you back again soon.
Yes.
I'll definitely be back.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you too.
To everybody that tuned in tonight to BKS1 Radio and the Owl Show, we love you guys for watching. We love you guys for listening, no matter where we are, no matter if we are in the studio, which I am starting to miss, or our virtual offices, as you can see here. God willing, we will be here next week, same time, same place, new show, and we'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.
Cheers, ladies.
Thank you.